Then number 2, we want to write pseudocode for an algorithm to allow a number to be input into an appropriate variable and check whether the number is an integer. If the number is an integer, it's accepted. Right, if the number is not an integer, an error message is output. And we want to re-input the number until a valid number is input. Okay, so I've gone ahead and just opened this on the site, and I've also used this full screen mode, which I think maybe a lot of people are not aware of. Yeah, likewise, of course, you can use this quiet editor just to remove the navigation bar and the toolbar as well. Right, okay, so yeah, let's just think how we can do this. First, we're going to want to declare, right, let's call that number. Now, let's think about the data type. I think if we go integer, the problem is that if they actually enter a real number, well, then it's just going to crash the program, because we're not going to be able to input a real number yet into an integer variable. So, right, I'm actually going to make that real, and maybe here we can add a comment. Let's say what ensure program, right, doesn't crash. I don't know, yeah, if non-integer number is entered. Or yeah, like if real number is entered. Right, I think that's fine. Right, okay, so what we want then, because we only want the error message to be displayed if the number is not an integer, well then I think we're going to want an output and input first, just to sort of ask them to, you know, enter a number. Right, and basically then we would want the loop that's only looping, yeah, obviously if it's kind of invalid, right, if it's not an integer. So let's try and do that. Let's go output. And right, I'm probably going to say, right, enter a whole number, because I guess probably like the sort of regular person on the street is probably not going to know what an integer is. Whereas I think if you say whole number, I mean, I think everyone should really know what a whole number is. Right, okay, so right, then we're going to go input number. Right, and then here, so here is where we're going to check, right, so we're going to go while, and right, there's three ways we can do this. Either we can use round, right, or we can use mod, or we can use div. Right, okay, so let's just go here round, and what we're going to check, well, we're going to round number to 0 decimal places. Okay, right, so if we do this, well, this should definitely make it a whole number. And what we'll do is basically we'll check, well, while this is not equal to the number. Because let's say, for example, if we have, I don't know, 5.5, well, if we round 5.5 to 0 decimal places, all right, then it's going to become 5. But here, okay, this number is still going to be 5.5. So what we're basically checking is, okay, here. So it's going to be what, while 5 is not equal to 5.5. Yeah, so hopefully that kind of makes sense. Right, so what we're going to do, then we're just going to, well, okay, right, so I'm just going to copy that actually. Right, let's say maybe, right, number, right, is not a whole number. Right, let's say, yeah, is not a whole number, and we'll just say try again. Yeah, that should be fine, and right then, let's just go end while. Alright, and yeah, hopefully this will work. So let's try, I don't know, yeah, like 1, 2, 3, okay, yeah, let's try this one. Yeah, it says, right, it's not a whole number, try again. Let's try, I don't know, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, and that's working. Right, so let's think how we can do this by mod. Now, let's say we have a number like, I don't know, yeah, this, right, okay, 1, 2, 3, right, 0.456. Well, if we mod that by 1, right, then we're basically just going to get this remainder of, you know, 0.456. But if we have a whole number, let's say, what, like 123, so 123 mod 1, right, that's just going to be 0. Yeah, because there's no remainder, right, when we divide it by 1. So let's try that and see if it works. Right, so we want to go the number mod 1, and we're going to check, well, while this is not equal to 0. And right, let's try again. Yeah, again, right, it's not a whole number, and let's try correct. Yeah, okay, right, that's working. And right, finally, let's try div. So I think here, if we div the number by 1, so let's think we have, what, like 5.5 div 1. Well, if we div 1, okay, then we're going to get 5, because we can, you know, successfully divide 5.5 by 1, right, 5 times. And then obviously, well, we would get the remainder of, you know, 0.5. So I think here we can check while this is not equal to 1. And yeah, let's see if this works. Yeah, okay, right, not a whole number, and let's try again. Right, also not a whole number. Okay, actually, right, okay, hang on, so I think we want to check, yeah, while this is not equal to number. Right, let's try again, and hopefully this time it will work. Yeah, okay, right, yeah, this time it works. Alright, so a small mistake, but I guess, yeah, finally we got it working.